bitch! Hi, welcome to the Basic Nerd Experience. I'm your host, Elliot. It's your host with the most who looks like a ghost.
That's me.
That's
you.
That's us too. Yeah, that's why we're wearing white shirts. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the original trilogy. So we're just going to kind of keep it simple. We're just going to do it in like 15-minute segments. So the first will be A New Hope. The next one will be Empire Strikes Back. And the third one is Return of the Jedi.
Today's message will be brought to you by Kutchbob.
55 or
I'm
something.
joking, it's not.
It's not, no. But if you're out there, we need some money. So on my right, we have Johnny Boy.
Hello there.
Hey.
You know who I am. This is Jose.
Oh, I'm preparing myself.
Oh, wow. Okay. And we have Andres.
How you doing?
So,
Before we move on, the parasite. The reason why the parasite isn't here is because Jose has permanently detached himself from that parasite. So it's no longer "What up, bitch." It's just Jose.
Bitch! Bitch!
okay, so A New Hope.
We jump into it like that?
Yeah, might as
Jump in
well.
like this.
All right, so A New Hope.
Hope.
So after covering the prequel trilogy, this is the first one. This is the one that started us off.
Yeah, it is.
I will say this does leave a big first impression on you. It gives you, like, from the opening scene, you see that rebel shuttle going out, right? And then this
Best opening shot.
big ass Star Destroyer coming in. This gives you a feeling like, oh my god.
Oh, now it works.
Yeah.
Now it works.
As I was saying, there's this big Star Destroyer coming in with these rebels, right? Like, you see the actions going in full-fledged, and then we get introduced to R2 and C-3PO.
That's right.
I'm just like, oh, these guys are pretty cool. One's whiny, the other one doesn't talk. It's a good contrast.
Hello, too. Why do I have to follow you everywhere?
But tell me you guys didn't feel anything when Darth Vader first comes in, traps.
It's
that shot.
It's
an iconic scene.
It's the iconic shot of him coming out of the smoke. Like,
It was.
oh, he's dressed in black. Villain.
That's the bad guy. Yeah.
Well, it was for me the stormtroopers when they came in. It was just the fact of like the rebels are coming in. Okay, the big ship is coming in, and like, okay, we have the guns ready to go, and then C-3PO is like, oh, okay, what's that? And then there's like the music, and then like the couple sounds coming in, and they're ready to go, looking at the blaster door, and then like it's just that 30 seconds of like, all right, what's gonna happen? And then they open it, and then boom, stormtroopers are actually aiming correctly in this only scene.
Yeah. They hit like 2 people.
They like right.
They hit like 2 people.
They hit like
Go back and see it. They hit every single
shot.
rebel who's ready to fire.
I mean, I just see. Honestly, I watch it. I'm like, there's like red lasers flying everywhere. I'm like, oh shit.
Then Darth Vader comes in. I don't have a nickname for it yet, but Darth Vader is is
Black Santa Claus.
is black.
Sorry, just kidding.
Well, Anakin Skywalker is not a bitch anymore.
That's true.
Now
He's actually a military commander.
Yeah.
Like the first thing that we establish here is that he is a menace. He's choking out the leaders, just like, what happened to those plans? And he's like, we're an ambassadorship. We don't have it.
We're an diplomatic mission. Obviously, you're not.
Then where is the ambassador?
Right.
And then he starts raising his voice. Commander, tear this ship apart and bring me the prisoners. I want them alive.
James Earl Jones. Bro.
That's when that voice had peak potency right there.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I could just listen to Andres just do the entire Star Wars saga. Like, you should do like a one-man show, but like a radio show.
It would not survive.
No,
it would not survive.
It would be like, welcome to this podcast.
You're Yoda?
Ooh, Misa going to.
I can't do Baby Yoda yet, man.
It's just Baby Yoda's just like.
Exactly.
Like,
you can't do that shit.
You can't do that.
No.
Jonathan kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Jonathan can kind of look like, or Amy in the background can do it.
Amy in the background can do it.
Shout out to Amy on camera.
That's true. West Side.
Hey, bro.
I'm just kidding.
Let's take it easy.
Okay, I don't want anyone to be offended. Yeah. So then we also were introduced to the original through the OG3. Luke, Leia, and Han.
Yeah. You see that it happens in sequence. First, we see a glimpse of Leia entering.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
we're going straight in.
Everyone knows A New Hope,
Exactly.
or New Hope, as Jonathan likes to think.
Yeah,
of it.
the New Hope.
A New Hope.
A New Hope. Yeah.
But here's something that I found out not recently, but as I kept watching episode 4, Luke is a bitch in this one.
Oh yeah.
Luke is a complete.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
he's annoying.
He's I want to say he's a bitch. Like
But
Anakin in episode 2 is a bitch.
But Uncle, I just want to go to the Tachi station and buy some power converters.
You can waste time with your friends later.
Oh my lord!
I'm not gonna get out of here. But it's like he's like me. We have like whiny white boy problems. So it's just for him. So it's just like he's like insert Disney character.
Yeah.
So
it's like the same reason why I like Atreus from God of War. It's just like he's whiny. Okay. He presses on, but we see that he has a goal. You can see that he wants to do something with his life. He's ambitious.
Yes.
A good crutch for a character. It doesn't have to be likable. He just has to be motivated. He or she has to be motivated. You know, he has to. That way we can sympathize.
Okay, let's not get into that.
We're gonna save that for the Last Jedi.
Okay. No.
Okay.
So the stabbing is going to start early, huh?
So yeah, Force Awakens. We'll get there, but before we offend more people onto this, so you're saying with Luke, Leia was kind of very no, Leia was just Leia.
Leia's just straight up,
but Han was really
yes. Han is the best part of A New Hope for me by far.
Yes.
Han is just like I love him.
Please elaborate.
Han is my favorite canon character. If a character that I'm not gonna say right now is confirmed canon, then he will be my favorite. But as of right now, canon wise, Han is my favorite. And it's just I love Han's introduction. I love that he's smooth talk. He's got like the silver tongue, and then but like when Luke tries him, he's like, "Listen, you little shit, like calm down. You don't know anything. Just get over here."
It ain't like Dustin Croft's boy.
Yeah, exactly. Let the big boys do this. And I also love how the moment you meet him, you know he has a dark side because he shoots Greedo.
Yeah,
first, and it's like
Greedo shot first.
I'm not saying that who shot first. I'm just saying he shoots him.
I just did.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I'll bite my tongue. I'll bite my tongue.
This will be This will be a World War III argument if y'all start this again.
No, that's Last Jedi.
No, last time you had this argument, it was bad. But
wait, we did. Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I love how immediately the story tells you he is not all good. He is not afraid to get his hands dirty.
Yeah. He's a smuggler.
He has his grimy parts, but Harrison Ford, man. Harrison Ford played even though he hated the character, he played the shit out of Han Solo.
Yeah.
Except in Return of the Jedi, but we'll get to that.
But yeah, in episode 4, Han Solo freaking nails it every single time. Harrison Ford made that character his own, whether he likes it or not. But
absolutely did.
Yeah, but the reason why Harrison Ford did it was because originally he wasn't going to be in it. He was just helping read the lines to other actors. Because I remember I was watching Empire Dreams, which is now on Disney Plus. Always plug.
Sponsor us,
please. Disney Plus, please. Well, I don't know if but it was just saying how Harrison Ford was just helping the actors read the role of Han, and I think just Han or other stuff, but it turned out that's like, wait, this guy actually should be Han Solo. So then look what happened.
Yeah, Lucas made a good choice with Harrison Ford, man. Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah.
So
he was a carpenter before.
That's right. Some of the best talented people are do regular jobs.
Yeah,
but anyway,
Han Solo for me, like if Han Solo wasn't in this movie, I don't think I would like this movie as much as I like it, because he had so much spirit to the movie, and it's like he's like everybody's like for the rebellion, and then he's just like, I'm here for the money. Give me a second.
Yeah, it's a good counterbalance to everything going on.
He adds comedy. He adds like great comedy. Him and when they meet Leia in the Death Star, they play
Death Star. No, you said Death Star.
Did I?
Yeah,
I'm sure.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay,
isn't Death Star from Red Lantern?
I have no idea.
That's Dex.
I thought that was Sassy, our little cat. Right.
But let's get back to what
Sorry.
Anyway, but
back to the Death Star.
But yeah, when Han and Leia like meet up for the first time, and like they have like those back and forths, it's just like that's so awesome.
Yeah,
and everything. And I love the part after they get out of the Death Star where like Luke obviously is crushing on Leia, And then he's like, you think me, a guy like me?
No.
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 And he just smiles. I'm like, I love that.
I'm gonna steal you, bitch.
Yeah. That's exactly what I just love that character.
Isn't it so funny they just end up being like related? That's just so
Yeah. In hindsight, it's kind of wow.
Yeah. Wow. Especially in Empire. Oh, we can get to Empire, but I want to go back to your point. We're gonna go back on Death Star.
Yeah.
When they're saying about the whole when they go to detention center and they blow up the prison.
Yeah.
And then they're like, and then they get like a distress call saying like from the officer. And they're like, what's going on down there? And then he's just like, just like how Harrison Ford just casually just starts talking. Goes, oh yeah,
everything's fine down here.
We have a leak on Sector 4. You know, everything's fine. How are you? He goes, we're sitting in a squad up. Negative. We're having some things going on. He goes, who is this? What's your call number? Beam. He goes, that was not really
the other great part from Han
anyway.
Solo. The other great part from Han Solo in the Death Star is when they're escaping the Death Star. And they see all of these troopers, and Han Solo just and she's like, and Leia's like, where's he going? He's trying to get himself killed. I love that. And then he rounds the corner. He's like, I'm gonna do this. Army of stormtroopers. Oh shit! And then Chewie's like, oh.
How about where they start chasing them? Right, they still chasing him, and then the stormtroopers are like, close the blast doors. Open
the blast doors. Open the blast doors. Yeah.
There's a bunch of camp and fun and cheese to this movie that feels natural. It just feels so great. It knows what it is, and that's what makes it so
especially the ending with the Death Star.
Spoilers, blowing up. Just in case you haven't watched episode 4.
Which I don't understand. It's the first one.
Exactly. If you haven't seen A New Hope yet, there's no spoilers in this, but spoilers anyway, just in case you didn't know.
The big ball in the sky blows up.
Yeah.
It's not our moon. It's a space station.
It's too big to be a
That was a great line.
But can we establish that Vader is not the main villain here? It's Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yes.
This guy is holding Vader's leash. He is the one in charge. And you could tell by how Leia comes into right over here, and she starts smart mouthing him like this. And then Grand Moff Tarkin's like, we're gonna go to Alderaan. We're gonna blow it up. It's okay if you don't want to cooperate with us. It's fine. That's why I respect the Empire.
No, was it Dantooine?
How he plays her too is also really cool. I love Grandma because he was like, I'm growing very tired of this. Tell me where the rebel base is, and she's like, Dantooine. It's on Dantooine, and then he's like, all right. Blow it up. He's just like, what? He's like, oh, you're far too trust. I was like, oh, okay, respect.
Yeah, the established empire right here, right? They're cold, calculated, all about business.
Yeah,
with a tone
and they're super organized.
Oh my god, it's so great. Like that's how a military super galactic force should be.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Cold, calculating, and fabulous.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
In my white armor, and I stick out.
Like a sword thumb.
Exactly.
But I can't aim. So, Johnny boy, you have a bright smile on your face and you feel like you want to jump in. So, was there anything you'd like to add? Like, was there any other...
any positives before we get to any potential negatives?
Just like, we should bring up the negatives quickly because this segment's almost going to be over.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, obviously with The New Hope, it has the classic charm. It's the first Star Wars movie that we've all known and come to love. It has its cheesy moments. It has its good moments. Of course, all the Han Solo moments, in my opinion. And it has its negatives, which I think we're going to get to very soon. Especially with the new Disney Plus version.
McClunky.
The Disney Plus version is just like another version of it. But
still sponsor us, please.
George Lucas needs to stop remaking this movie. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, he's no longer...
I don't care how many cuts of
it needs to stop. How many cuts? This is like one of the most cuts in a movie besides what Godfather and Blade Runner. Like, it like,
except now you can blame Kathleen Kennedy for it. I'm sorry, you got it.
All that was added was a McClunky.
Yeah, it was
the original.
It's not that different.
To go on to the negatives, I'll say I have two versions. I have we'll do a couple more minutes. I have the original trilogy on the 20th anniversary, the 20-year anniversary one on VHS of the special edition, and then I have the Blu-ray. Blu-ray's better, obviously, but it was just they added like some dumb stuff, like
There's like all the CGI stuff.
yeah, and it's like it's not to mention the late
CGI Jabba.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah, that Jabba
That-
scene.
that
It
Jabba-
just felt out of place.
it felt like DJ Khaled like on his way out from Weight Watchers, like
Back up. Like I don't know.
Yeah, this movie, it's great because it's the first Star Wars movie, but it has its problems.
Yeah,
But I think now it's like what 40 years later. I think it can be looked past because like this was 77. This was like
I don't subscribe to that.
why is that?
I look at every movie the same. If I don't like it, I'm gonna tell you why I don't like it or what I don't like about it. There are a few things about A New Hope that I just like. I know that it was 40 years ago. I know that it's the first one, but the Obi-Wan Darth Vader fight, no matter how many times I watch it, and I try my best to give it the benefit of that, but it looks so fake, and it looks so like what? Because they're just like poking at each other, and it doesn't really feel like because they hyped up Darth Vader to be this like master, and then they did that whole thing with Obi-Wan in the cantina sequence where he's like, "Shoo-wah!" It's like, oh shit,
that is true.
And then you get like the big buildup, and it's like, so they're poking sticks. Got it. It completely ripped me out of it.
I'm gonna debate that argument because Jedis and Siths are kind of based off of samurais. So I think the way that they were doing it, because I think they said this in Empire Dreams, the way they were doing it was kind of like again like fencing or samurai. So they're just like quick poking and quick doing this. I understand though, because we see like like with Phantom
Duel of the Fates.
Yeah, but like,
the Fates and all that stuff. Then we see like
No, Duel of the Fates is more like
yeah. So, but yeah, okay. Who are you? No,
No.
But I get it.
I understand, but to me, this was just an old man and his old apprentice just
having a leisure.
But that's what I'm saying. The fight
Having a seizure.
The fight isn't
Having a leisure.
the fight isn't the point. The fight isn't the point. It's the motivations behind it. It may be simple motivations, but it actually works.
It just for me, the movie hasn't aged very well.
Yeah.
Unlike its sequel, which we will get to.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Speaking
a good way
of
to
that,
segue.
that's a good transition to Empire of the Sun. No, Empire
Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back. All right.
The Empire Strikes Back.
So for episode 5, we're adding the nugget into the conversation.
Was it?
So episode 5,
You were literally playing Call of Duty, like behind the camera.
Shut up. Shut up. Let him finish. Go.
I was finished, but okay.
Okay, fine. I was playing Call of Duty. It was fun.
So for episode 5, Empire Strikes Back. I'm just like, wow, this is like not really much negatives to talk about.
Let's start with the negatives on this one.
Yeah.
If anybody's got
Yeah.
If there are any negatives,
that is true.
can you have?
Andres is going into that.
There was something that I had a problem with Empire Strikes Back. I would say it would be the first impression of this movie, in that it's not really that much for the faint of heart. You see, episode 4, it was all campy and fun. It was more or less lightweight. There were some important lessons to be learned there, of course. But with episode 5, I think the start sets it all off. You start in this hostile, like, snow planet of Hoth, right? And there's not much action going on. You see Luke on a tauntaun, right? You're just like, Hano, buddy, do you read me? You see, this Han's coming in, We get to recognize, like, the old people from 3 years ago, And then he gets attacked by this Wampa thing. He gets kidnapped, It's just like, oh, okay, we're starting off in dire situation right now, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Just like the first movie.
Dire situation, but I feel like this one is a little bit more personal because it's Luke. We already know who Luke is, and he gets attacked by this big ass thing. It's just like, I hope he makes it out of it alive. Is he gonna get eaten? Shit.
Yeah. I love this movie for that. I love it. The heroes lose. You can't say that a lot in movies. Like, Empire is literally just like the title says it all. The Empire struck back.
Yeah, they did.
And Rebels lost.
And you it's not just that they lost, but you feel the gravity of what they lost. The Rebels are just licking their wounds. They're wrapping themselves up. We're just like, okay.
The Empire comes in.
Every single time.
Vader's like, oh, fuck shit.
They killed the Death Star, and then now
you thought we were done.
You
bro.
killed
Come back.
You
bro.
killed
Come back.
you killed my master target. Fuck you, bitch.
Okay.
Bro,
I don't want you to hurt your hand. Like anything.
bro,
this
they
is-
literally did come back. They literally was like, "Hey, y'all thought we were done?
Nah.
Let's go bring that."
It's like a
out.
Chris Brown video. Thought it was over.
Y'all really thought it was over?
I thought it was over. How do you get from Star Wars to Chris Brown?
I don't know. It doesn't really make sense. But
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 you're
yeah.
saying with the negatives,
yeah,
your view of the negatives. Okay.
I can't really pinpoint it down at the moment. But if anyone has anything like they want to speak about in the Empire Strikes Back, it'll come back to me. I know it will.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. When I was a kid, I really didn't like Empire because it was different. It was the bad guys died. I'm like, this sucks.
I mean, win.
You mean when?
No, like the bad guys didn't win in this movie. Oh, the good guys did.
Was Luke evil?
I mean, it all depends on your perspective of good and evil in this movie. So,
It's a certain point of view.
Right. It's like,
Okay.
Whatever helps you save what you just said.
Okay, I feel like I'm in a democratic debate. Let me speak. So
Okay, Bernie.
this is the first time. I'm not going there. This is the first time that we see the bad guys not win in the first. Wait, good guy.
what he's saying is that if you compare this movie to A New Hope,
Right. So
the tone
the
is
tone, yeah,
much darker.
It's bleak.
exactly. So, and I didn't like this a lot when I was a kid because it was very more serious and more mature than obviously the previous one. And I just, when I was a kid, I was like, oh, this is different. This is more like again, like darker and grittier but it became when I'm more matured as an adult, young adult, and I enjoy it more and more. Like the more and more I watch it, the more it's like becoming like my top 3 favorite. It's not my favorite right now, but if I have to like watch it again to keep going, but it's definitely like top like 2. I'll reveal my rankings at the end of Rise of Skywalker, as everyone else will. That's a special segment.
Yeah,
For sure.
definitely.
So-
When I get back.
When I was a kid, I remember watching A New Hope because I saw the prequels first. So that was like,
Wait, you watched the prequels first?
Yeah.
What is? You weren't raised correctly. Like,
It's exposure.
You weren't.
I watched the prequels first, and I was like, they're fun.
so wait,
Yeah.
That's it.
wait.
yeah.
This makes sense.
This is an
Yeah, because
anomaly.
when you're a kid,
No, it's just the
It
fact.
makes sense why you like the Last Jedi.
no, I don't like the prequels. I don't really like. I've never really liked the prequels at all.
We've read to the Sith though.
I mean,
You
Uh,
love this.
It's a re-
I'm not the one who liked it.
I'm like Jose.
I'm
too.
okay.
I also,
I'm okay with the prequels. Like the prequels are like, yeah, it's fun to watch. You know, it's Star Wars. You know, and then it's like, but what did you like about it?
I mean, you and me got different
Pretty
opinions about
colors.
that.
I mean, it's Star Wars, but so I was like, okay, my dad really likes Star Wars, and he's saying, oh, there's more, by the way, and it's like, oh, really? Okay, cool. Let's just see what else. I finished A New Hope, and A New Hope was good. It was really hopeful. A New Hope.
Oh,
It was really hopeful, and it was like, oh my god, the good guys.
I hope it didn't strike you back.
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
This-
But I was like, okay, cool. So this
So
is like
cool.
a really fun, campy
We'll return
franchise.
to that.
Awesome. This is, I kind of like it. I can get behind it. Laser swords. Come on, what little kid doesn't like a fucking laser sword?
No,
Exactly.
But then my dad was like, okay, now we were gonna watch episode 5. I'm like, okay, cool. He pops in episode 5. I didn't speak for the entire movie. I was just like
You were mesmerized.
into it
Yeah.
completely,
Yes.
and I remember losing my mind.
Pew.
As a kid.
I remember losing my mind as a kid. Unfortunately, the twist didn't hit as hard as it should have. But even though I still was like, I could feel it. I was like, it didn't hit me hard because I saw the prequels before already. I know he's Darth Vader. But like,
that's
right.
why.
I am your father.
but even then, it still hit hard. I was like, no, Luke, I am your father. And it's like, I feel for Luke. I was like, oh my god, Luke, no. That's not the way you should have learned that.
Exactly.
And like,
That was-
it was just like, I've watched this movie upwards of 30 times in my life. I cannot find a flaw in this movie.
Yeah, and
sorry.
Sorry. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna finish. But I will. This is not only for me the best Star Wars film. This is one of the best movies ever made.
And sequels.
Yeah, and you know how easy it is to screw up a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so hard. It's so hard to just do it correctly. There are only certain sequels that I genuinely love that are in my cave.
Yeah.
What's in your cave? I just want to hear like what are some.
As Brandon says, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
He's not even here. We can quote this man.
Yeah, coming back to the Empire Strikes Back, you can see there are a lot of great lessons to be learned. It's transcendent how good these lessons are. Like, let's get into Yoda real quick.
Absolutely.
This man coming inside Dagobah system, right? Yeah, you see
I
this.
love this
George. This George is he has the force. Like he just be like.
I know it was really funny. But
anyway,
you see this silly little hermit just bugging Luke and R2. You don't know anything about this little thing, you know?
Little did you know that in a few minutes your mind would be fucking blown.
Yeah, just like, what wisdom can this thing have? This little green puke, you know? But at least he's nice. He invites Luke over for lunch, for dinner.
God.
I don't know the days of Dagobah.
It's just the same. Like
the training with Luke was so good.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh my god.
Well, the fact when he said when Luke, like Yoda speaks true wisdom, like everything he says in this film, and like 95% of the time, once or twice it's like, all right, whatever. But in this film, he says so much stuff like, I'm not afraid, you will be, and it was just this. And then the training sequence where he goes against Vader in like the dark age,
which was supposed to be the movie telling you that they are related.
Yeah,
that was
I never got that when I was a kid. What I thought was that it was supposed to be like, only take what you have. What was it? It's like, your weapons will not need them. And then it's like, what was it? Take what you need. What was it? Take what you only need.
Yeah.
And but I understand when he said your weapons, you don't need them.
It proves that Luke, although he has a lot of reach with his abilities, he doesn't grasp them yet. He doesn't have the taste, which is why Yoda says you won't need them. He knew he was going to take them. You know why? Because Yoda understands. Yoda understands that you need to lose control somehow eventually while you're learning, because that's the only way you're going to know your limits as a warrior. Lose control and then find a way to sheath that power. Mm-hmm. It's like a swordsman or woman coming in, saying you have power. Now find a way to sheath it. Right. A good warrior knows how to do that, and Yoda knows that better than anyone else.
The scene where Luke wants to leave because he realizes that his friends are gonna be led into a trap, and he has to get his X-wing out of the quagmire.
Yeah.
That is to this day a goosebumps inducing scene with him going, "Just me by my side, do you?" Mm-hmm. And then he lifts the X-wing with like showing Luke the power of the Force, and then delivering the best insult in like the history. Just like, I can't believe it. I can't believe that you actually did it. And Yoda just goes, that is why you fail. I was like,
I'm trying to bring the cat.
That hits close to home because it is very true.
It's so like, oh my god, it's just thinking about it gives me chills.
So Sassy, do you have anything you want to say about Empire Strikes Back?
I hope you guys like cat ass.
She's purring into the mic, so let me just not.
just grab her quickly and like take her.
She's like, I feel bad.
Just don't grab her by the.
She struck back.
Bye, Sassy.
Anyway,
Jonathan, do you have anything you want to say?
Yeah, Johnny boy, my bad.
I know you're into Sassy for a second, but
please, what would you like to say about the Empire Strikes Back?
Honestly, when it comes to Empire Strikes Back, I have no negatives about the movie. Everything was executed really, really well. Like in most Star Wars movies, you're going to be able to say, "Oh, I can point out a flaw here, there, here, and there," and you can really get nitty gritty and nitpick. But even if you
as Star Wars fans love doing,
of course,
we don't have
yes,
a continuation to Solo, but whatever.
yeah. But
there is one part that I find a little bit weird. It's when Han Solo's maneuvering through these Star Destroyers, right? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
He wants to lose them, right? Yeah. So just as when they're about to get the tractor beam ready to get the Millennium Falcon in, right? Han Solo does a maneuver where he just goes up, he goes into attack position, right? He goes through the bridge, and he's just like, right? And the Empire loses Han Solo. It's no longer on the scopes. To me, it just comes to show that Han really knows what he's doing. He knows that he's so much of a badass as a pilot.
Han in this movie.
Yeah.
Dude, how he maneuvers himself. What a dude.
Han got better in this movie. Like, Han was already great in A New Hope, but then Han just got, like, Han's character just got up so much more in this movie. How he was, like, falling in love with Leia and, like, that whole thing, and how he's actually giving a shit about the rebellion.
Yeah,
I love you.
Cock blocks him every single time.
Yes.
So the best movie, he should have died right there.
Oh, yeah. In Carbonite?
He should have died. That should have been Han Solo's end right there. I'm sorry.
No. Never mind.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He should not have been in Return of the Jedi. He should not have been in Force Awakens. He should have died.
I disagree.
There.
I disagree with you.
That was the perfect ending.
Okay,
to Han Solo's arc as
I love you. I know.
He's a smuggler. He's a smuggler. He's done wrong in his life. He dies, but he dies as a martyr. That would have been like, oh.
But don't you think that maybe like, okay, being still in the rebellion, that was still like right his wrongs?
No.
Hence the way he died.
No, I feel like in A New Hope he came up as like this dude who obviously has a good heart, but he's done wrong.
Well,
he's grimy. He's like, I feel like the perfect end to him would been him dying, but him dying as a martyr. Him dying as like for Han, like oh.
But don't you think that like
he should have? They were gonna kill him.
I know how they were thinking of killing him off.
They were.
But then
that was supposed to be the end of him.
But Lucas was against it because he had a plan for Episode 6 at the time.
Right. He had a plan for all the movies.
Irvin Kershner, the guy who directed Empire.
Who also I think taught. Damn, Sassy, you're a wreck on set. Like, how dare you? Goddamn, freaking actresses over here, Sassy. Like
divas,
Oh.
Irvin Kershner.
Thank you, extra.
Irvin Kershner, who directed the fuck out of this movie.
Isn't that also George Lucas's teacher?
I
think he taught him it.
I'm not entirely sure. Irvin Kershner directed the fuck out of this movie, and I think honestly he had better ideas of the characters than George Lucas did. I'm sorry.
Well, Lucas also didn't really have much creative. Again, please watch Empire of Dreams on Disney Plus. Always plug. It really like breaks down like a lot of shit that happens between 4, 5, and 6. It's a miracle that even the first one made it. Empire was interesting because now it's like now they have more money, now they have more time, and George Lucas is able to do other things. So the fact that I agree with you that Irving Kershner also knows Lucas personally, and he understands these characters. And I haven't seen any other films by Irving Kershner, but it's my favorite by him. But yeah, you can tell it's different. The vibe of it is different. Oh, we have 1 minute left of this, but
yeah, he just took this. He just
3 minutes. Oh, we got time.
He just took the characters and he made them so much better. And Luke, his arc is understandable.
He's still a whiny little boy, but he's grown learning. Up in the 3 years since these two movies.
And I'm going to say this right now. This is when Darth Vader became Darth fucking Vader. Yeah. This is when Vader was scary. This is when Vader was like, ah! You think you can go up against me?
There's no Moff Tarkin to save you now, man.
Oh this is me. The final fight between Luke and Vader.
I think that was
for me. It was I know you guys disagree, but that is the best lightsaber fight for me.
I 100% agree with you on that.
The stakes for me have never been higher. Your friend, for all Luke knows, his friends are about to die. And this is his last ditch effort, and he goes up and he thinks because Luke is cocky. He's cocky. He hasn't gone through the maturity yet, And Darth Vader is just like, come at me, bitch.
I wouldn't say that he's that cocky. I mean, he's more worried about saving his friends.
Yeah, but Yoda told him, "You're not fucking ready, man.
He's hasty.
You're not ready. Don't be naive. Don't go up there."
Yeah.
And then like when they're leaving, he's like, "That boy is our last hope." No,
There's
another Leia.
Yeah.
But
yes, and only Leia. Thank you.
Yeah.
What do you mean only Leia?
Only Leia. If they do something with the Rise of Skywalker, with there is another thing trying to change history and all that stuff, that just will not.
I think I put some Rey up in there. She's gonna be relevant. She's gonna actually be a good character.
Perhaps.
Maybe.
Perhaps.
But
I think
don't know.
Rey's a good character.
I agree. Rey's a good character. Let's get that to Force Awakens and Last Jedi.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but
But Thicc Boy does have a point when it comes to Luke and his haste and his
Wait,
hastiness.
are we talking about
He-
Empire Strikes Back?
Yeah.
Yes.
Where have you been?
No, I mean you said go back to the Force Awakens.
no, we'll
Last
talk
Jedi.
about Rey and Force Awakens,
When
Last
we
Jedi.
do the
episode.
Force Awakens.
And when we do the Force Awakens,
Okay.
so you need to awaken.
Look,
Okay.
you see, we're on the Empire
Okay.
claps back, all right?
Just like the introduction of Lando in this movie. How you doing, you old pirate? So good to see you. It's just like this guy.
Oh,
this guy's
Lando.
funny man. He's
Oh,
awesome.
Lando.
He's like the inverse Han Solo.
He's like if Han Solo went bad.
Like scrub him up, put him in a governmental power. You have Han Solo like it's Lando Calrissian.
Yeah.
No, it's just funny how it's like Lando was like this
And
crappy
I didn't-
dude, and then he like is a different character in like Episode 6. He's like a general now. It's
I
like
mean, when you have people to take care of,
there's
what
a
are you
few years
supposed
in
to do
between
in this
the new
situation?
no, that's just funny how it's just like you betrayed Han and he's incompetent. Then
Oh,
it's-
that's what you're talking
then it's like oh yeah, I'm a general now who can take over the Falcon.
And this is another reason why I didn't say this about New Hope and I should have. I'm stupid, but like this is why I love the anthology film so much, because when you watch Rogue One, when you watch Rogue One, for me it makes Episode 4 even better. Because now there are stakes, and it's like, oh, so that's what this ship was doing. Oh, so that's what these plans. Oh, so that's why there's a weakness in the Death Star. Anyway,
There you
I
have
agree.
your answers, folks. Feed us more Disney poopy. Thank you.
and when you watch Solo, and then you go into Empire, I feel like I understand everything much better, and it's just like, oh,
No,
and it makes
understand
Han
your point,
Solo's death so much more poignant for me.
So
I understand your
to,
point. Yeah.
to wrap up this point for Empire, we forgot to do the ratings for A New Hope. So New Hope rating.
Well, not just yet.
Oh, you
Not
want
just-
to do it?
Yeah,
do a little
let's
bit-
save it for all three at the end of it.
Okay, my bad. So now we have Return of the Jedi. So goodbye, Nugget. So we are back to Return of the Jedi talk.
Return of the Jedi talk.
So this to me is just like Empire. I don't really. Well, actually, no. There's actually some flaws in this one. Ewoks, but I
More
do.
than just
I
Ewoks.
You mean the
More.
Build-A-Bear Workshop Army?
yeah, or that.
You mean the variable Build-A-Bear Workshop Army, where literally there's an undefinite number of Ewoks in the area and only certain stormtroopers that are only there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. Okay, it's a
great.
good movie. It's a good movie, but it has its bad contrivances.
I want to get into that, but I want to hear. I haven't heard from Jonathan in a bit. So, what would you like to say about Return of the Jedi?
Well, you guys remember how I said The Empire Strikes Back was pretty much almost flawless?
No.
Return of the Jedi. Woo! How's it take a turn?
Let me tell you something, boy.
In this movie, though, I do feel that they took a right direction here by making Luke more the main focus and finally making him the character of major importance. Because in A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, it felt like Han Solo was the spirit of the movie, which I have nothing against. Honestly, I enjoyed it. But man, Han Solo in this movie, good thing Luke came in clutch. That's all I gotta
Oh
say.
my god! Yes,
Good thing.
absolutely.
So that's all you have to say. Or is
Well,
it-
for the given moment.
for the given
Yeah,
moment.
for the given moment.
Okay.
I could say the first impression that we get of this movie. I'm big on first impressions, and we could say that Return of the Jedi has one of the dullest kind of intros to a movie that I've seen. It's just
Okay.
at
Yeah.
least you get to enjoy a bit of back and forth
Yeah.
between 3PO and R2. I guess they should knock on the door and then yeah, exactly, right.
Mumble rap. Anyway.
Mumble rapping, yeah. So they managed to get into Jabba's palace because established before this is where Han Solo was taken by Boba Fett. I don't know. I don't understand why we didn't mention Boba Fett in
because he's forgettable in this movie.
He's very forgettable.
Better than Phasma. But anyway, when we get in here,
Phasma had more to do than him.
Oh, 2 minutes? No, never mind. Anyway, going back to this, right? We get to see the real Jabba the Hutt. You know, this is the boy. This is the man that's been hyped up for 2 movies. We didn't even know what he looked like.
That is the mega thick boy.
The mega thick boy.
Jabba the thick.
Yeah, he's
Jabba the Thicc. That's what we're calling him now.
Jabba the Thick. He's greasy. He's disgusting. He's a scoundrel.
The big man.
The big man himself. And then what I find hilarious is that Luke sells the 2 droids to Jabba the Hutt as a peace offering for bargaining for Solo's life. You know, it's funny how the plan doesn't work, but then again,
the plan made no sense.
The plan did make some sense.
It made absolutely no sense.
Why did the plan make sense?
To me, it made sense because Luke at this point is a seasoned Jedi. There's 3 years in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, right? There's plenty of time for him to get a little bit seasoned, get a little bit more wise. It's like a completely different character from what we saw before. But not completely. There's this optimism, this looking forward thing with Luke that's still present throughout Return of the Jedi, you know? And it shows in this little plan that he has to get his friend back, his buddy boy, you know? So R2 and C-3PO get sold to Jabba the Hutt, right? And then later on, you know, we get Chewie. Chewie comes in, right? He gets captured, well, supposedly by Lando, but he's already our inside guy.
No. It was Princess Leia.
No, it was Chewie. Remember?
No, Princess Leia captured Chewie. Remember, she was the bounty hunter.
That is true. That's true.
Right.
You're right.
And Lando was he was a prison guard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anyway, but
right, but it made sense, that part, that Leia would be the trick mask to this, to all of this, right? Okay, we get bargaining for 50,000 units, no less. Jabba gets pissed off. Then 35,000, and then we're like, okay, I like that.
Well, don't forget the bomb too.
The thermal detonator.
Yeah. He's like, oh shit, and then that's when C-3PO becomes a translator for the first time. Yeah, I'm sorry, I want to be
Never forget your first time with 3PO, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, yeah. So, but what I find most interesting about that plan is that Leia frees Han. I suppose it is part of the plan, right? But at the same time, we get to see Han again coming back for this one, and there's still a little bit of that bargaining that he has with Jabba. You know, I'll pay you triple. Come on, you're throwing me a fortune here. Don't be a fool. You know, he tries to give excuses, but this is the first indication that Han is a little bit weird in this movie. A little bit dodgy, like missing the point a little bit, you know?
Are you saying in the movie in general or in that moment?
In that moment.
Well, he did just come out of carbonite free, so he's still trying to he couldn't even see, so he's still trying to figure his surroundings out.
I understand.
So, yeah.
But so where I think the plan goes a little haywire, where it's all based more on improv, is when they go into where Luke kills that Rancor, where he gets flung down there, you know. I could see that was more based on how Luke could manage a situation like that. So it was all up to him. He killed him. What wasn't planned, I can tell you that right now, is the Sarlacc pit. Yes. You could tell that there was no plan for that. Just survive and survive until you can't survive anymore. You know?
The plan made no sense.
Which one?
The plan to break Han out.
But then,
I agree with you.
You send the droids in first. The droids get captured. Mm-hmm. You send in Chewie. It doesn't work because Leia gets caught.
Well, right. Well, the Chewie part does make sense.
No, the Chewie part, but then
Leia gets caught in the end. Wouldn't it make more sense if
Luke goes in, tries to kill Jabba because he goes for the gun. He's like, and then Jabba.
Yeah, why couldn't he get the lightsaber? Why couldn't he get the lightsaber?
Because unlike other stupid Jedi who are too insistent on not using one, he isn't afraid to use one.
That is a very good point.
Yeah, and again, Luke is the best part of this movie by far. But
one thing, what was I gonna say? It would make more sense. I agree with both of you. It would make sense if Lando's already in there. He's as a guard, so you would think that him and he can get some access codes or reprogram some droids that are in there to kind of say, hey, we have to transfer Han Solo to another room, and they can make some excuse up. And not, you know what I mean? They don't have to be. Why are they sleeping in one room? Like, should they be like the thing that this movie should have done is Jabba has a palace. We see one room. So I think they should have done something like, okay, Jabba's in this room. Okay, then like the prison level. Okay, there's the prison level
nice
too.
Heist moment.
So which one?
Would have been a nice heist moment.
Oh,
But I don't know. But like for me, and then like the ending with the Sarlacc pit, that was
great.
Whoa,
That
what
was
is happening?
incredible.
Yeah.
Are we talking special edition? Because it depends on what you watch. Because
I mean,
I'm more of the big butthole in the sand type of guy, not more of the piranha type.
I'm just here like what the fuck is happening? Because like Luke obviously is really confident, and everybody's like, kid, tell us your master plan here. And then like a lot of it just comes down to circumstance. Like, how did you know Leia was gonna kill Jabba? Like, how did you know like she was gonna? How do you know that it was just gonna?
The plan was never to kill Jabba; it was to rescue Han.
Yeah, but if she didn't kill Jabba, then the plan would have just been.
They would have pulled out of Tatooine and just never seen this guy again.
But I mean, it's just she had a moment, she took it, and it needed to happen.
It didn't work for me. It was like I was like this plan is not making any sense. You guys are just going around and like everything's happening based on circumstance.
But
it's not really showing me that like they've grown as a team. It's just showing me like, okay, cool.
Well, don't forget. Well, I get it, but also there's not really like an elder in the room. There's no mentor, so it's kind of like Luke is the only one who's doing it.
Like, Luke is supposed to be a master at this point.
Not really.
To
He's
me,
a Jedi Knight. He's a master by like Force Awakens, Last Jedi.
I take the movie as him being a Jedi master because he comes in. He has a green lightsaber. He's using the Force like we've never seen.
It was
him
originally
before.
supposed to be blue, then they changed it to green because of the color. But later on, it was canon that they made green what it is. I understand.
Yeah,
it's less about how they work together as a team because the only people I see working as a team here are Chewie and Han trying to save Lando from the Sarlacc pit.
Yeah.
Lando
knew the plan too.
Lando,
sorry, I didn't cut you off, but
yeah. Right, but it's more about how they act under improvisational situations. And in this movie, I feel like there's a lot more based on there's a lot more based on improvisation and certain skills that they have that can benefit a situation more than just working together.
But that's also, but Han even says it himself as the character. Like he even said it in Force Awakens, like I'll mention the part when they're like,
this wasn't Han had nothing to do with this plan. Like,
but the reason why I'm saying it is that because Han goes like, oh, how do you escape all this stuff? He goes, I just kind of figure out on the way to go. That's how that's how it's been done, like. Not all the time, but like when he's like escaping the TIE fighters and Empire Strikes Back.
Kept him alive this much. I mean,
might as well. Because it's just the luck part.
But Han has a plan. It's just that he knows that eventually the plan's gonna get fucked. So he just has to.
But this plan got fucked, and then.
But I don't even see a plan. I just see like, okay, we're gonna send these droids in and see what happens.
Okay, this is the confusing part. Are we talking about Jabba's palace or are we talking about the Sarlacc pit?
Because we're talking about everything, like everything.
Okay, the Jabba's palace, I agree with you, but the Sarlacc pit is more of like
nothing made sense for me. I don't like from the way they carry themselves. It doesn't. I feel like the plan was to get Han out of like Jabba's palace. Not even having to worry about the Sarlacc pit. But then they didn't even have a plan. Well, so then they went to the Sarlacc pit.
But this is a war though.
When you kill the pet of this slimy piece of worm-ridden filth.
What the fuck?
Right? When you kill that person's pet.
You have some emotions there?
Yeah. That's Han's emotion. But, when you kill this man's pet, and he screws up your plan by taking you outside into a butthole in the sand to kill you, right? How else are you going to make up a plan like that? You have to be careful.
It's also like...
It really showed for me that it doesn't work. I don't know.
No, I think... I understand the Jabba's palace. That makes sense. Because it's like, oh, we tried, messes up. The Sarlacc pit is more of like, again, it's just kind of like the magic of Star Wars. It's just, okay, we have the plan. We know what the objective is. Like, okay, we're trying to just... Now, the plan now is just escape. Everybody escape. So I don't think it's about rescuing Han. It's just making sure that everyone's rescued. So you got Lando, you got Chewie, you got Luke, you got the droids. Yeah. But also now droids are not part of the staff. So even R2-D2, who's a bartender, he kind of like... Come on, that was a great scene when like R2 had like the lightsaber in him, and then Luke just like jumped and got in and and then he got the lightsaber. That's such a great scene.
That scene was pretty choreography,
right?
I'm just the plan didn't make sense. And like the whole thing was circumstantial. I'm talking like plot wise. didn't work. It felt really like there were a lot of holes there.
I'm really not sure as far as plot is concerned. I really found a lot of fluidity between these.
Yeah, it just happened.
It didn't feel like that. It just felt like, okay, cool. They're supposed to have this gigantic plan to save Han, because it's like, oh yeah, Empire, and between Empire and now, Luke's supposed to be like super experienced and he understands everything. Like there's been a few years, because they even say there's been like a year or two in between Empire and Return of the Jedi, and 3 years. Thank you. You're just making my point even better.
But it takes a while to become a master, as we've seen the prequels.
And he's supposed to be like a master. He's supposed to be like the person.
I don't think he's a knight. I think he's a Jedi Knight. I don't think he's a master.
I think he's a master.
But okay,
I think he's a master.
I think we think master or knight. It's just the facts. I think. Okay,
I'm out of it.
I'm gonna do some research.
I'm like, yeah,
because we're going up two different tangents.
I think that we should end the plan anyway, because like there's more to talk about.
But I will give you something that really pisses me off about The Last Jedi.
Wait, Return or Last?
Return of the Jedi.
Okay, you said Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi. Sorry,
I was like, oh, are you ready for this?
About Return of the Jedi, right?
We're not there
yet.
yet.
The fact that Han and Lando are able to get along so well, even after Lando tricks it.
Thank you.
Are we just going to?
Oh
skip
my
over the
God!
part? Look at you, a general. I would have smacked him or hit him. Or
Han
something.
is a bitch in this movie.
Like,
they massacred his character.
I
in
wouldn't
this
say
movie.
that. They just massacred it in that one moment.
Yeah, I would. Okay, yeah, I agree. I don't think it was just like. I don't think he was Anakin bad.
I don't care how.
In the other, in New Hope and Empire, he's like always thinking up everything. He's trying to think like, oh crap, like what am I gonna do? Hell, in Empire, when the doors open, Darth Vader, one of the most powerful beings in the galaxy. What's Han's first impression? Shoot him. In this movie, he's like, oh I don't know what to do. I'm lost. It's like you're fucking Han Solo.
Well, I
man.
don't really say that. In Endor, he pretty much had the situation more or less.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
When he got the
Ewoks were there and they just saved everybody at the end. Like that's
the multitude of little teddy bears coming in and saving the day. I mean, I don't know.
No, I mean Han Solo was still threatening.
Han went from a cool badass character to a comedy sketch. It was like
no,
what?
I disagree.
I wouldn't say it was that drastic, but there's a definite
drastic
difference.
is like Anakin.
There's a definite difference in the characters. I have to admit that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that Han's character is flanderized by any means, because there's still there's scenes in this movie in Endor where he has the situation under control.
Yeah,
a lot of
that's
scenes.
the whole point of the Endor. The whole point of the Endor sequence is that they're losing.
I will give you an example. Take the stormtrooper fighting scene. This is just one of many scenes that I'm referring to. Right? He snaps a twig. And then the stormtrooper backhands him. I like that. Okay,
yeah,
okay. This is where we go. We're coming in. Right? He's like, hey, wait. And then the stormtrooper just backs him, and it just he starts beating the crap out of him. Although the situation was circumstantial, I would say that, because he stepped on a freaking twig. He managed it. He managed the situation very well.
Obviously.
How about when he started setting the charges up, where he started putting up the plan, where he just okay, lead these guys out, right? I'll go in like this. Right, looking all cool and stuff. Ewoks come in from the top, from the back,
and he comes in like with a smile,
let's talk about that.
No,
I mean, we should talk about Ewoks. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I think everyone can agree here. Ewoks were dumb. The fact that they got 2 TV movies out of this is a shame.
I would say that fact is very different from the fact that these guys, they didn't break my suspension of disbelief of winning a war.
It completely broke it for me.
Not really.
It completely broke.
Take in mind, it was the base. It wasn't the whole thing. Because really, what struck down the Death Star was Lando leading, the rest of the battalion.
Yeah, but they needed the base to go down. If it wasn't for
the base was just to destroy it. It wasn't like it's not like Last Jedi where they
needed to take down the base because it was the shield. I can't remember right now exactly. I'm forgetting. But they needed to take down the base so that they could get to the Death Star. But if the base wasn't taken, the rebels would have lost.
But it was also like, it depends on the circumstance, like what happened. Like Vader and Palpatine and Luke are like doing their thing. Yeah. There's like a space fight going on. So just for this to go on the base, it's a lot different. If we're talking like canon or we're talking about other things, it makes more sense because like in Battlefront 2, the story, we had the Inferno Squad coming in very late to protecting from the Ewoks. So then that makes sense why, like, oh shit. Because I think that kind of fixes it, like, oh shit, the elite squadron of the stormtroopers were off doing something else. Okay, let's go quickly save the Echo base from destroying, and then look
and by
what
the
happened.
time it mattered, it was already too late because the Death Star was already destroyed.
That's the only thing Battlefront 2's story did successfully. Everything else sucked that game.
I agree entirely with that point.
I agree. Ewoks were stupid. If there was like, they're much better than
there is no
than porgs.
I'm telling you,
I've seen stupid.
there is no
There is dumber
plot line in any film. I'm not even talking Star Wars that has brought me out of a movie more than the Ewoks.
Really?
I cannot believe it. I can't believe it. The Empire Strikes Back showed us that the Empire is this extremely organized force that accounts for every detail.
Yeah, but they didn't.
And they have technology, and they have all of these things, and they're just they're good at it. And Darth Vader knows everything. He's supposed to be super smart. And then they get into Endor, and these little teddy bears with like log traps.
Well,
take down the Empire?
No, it was the rebels. It was the rebels.
There weren't any rebels. There were
rebels.
There were like a few rebels on Endor.
No, there were like at least 30. Yes, there was a whole battalion.
30 versus the army and the ATSTs.
They don't have the entire army on Endor.
And the ATSTs. And everything else. There weren't not everybody was there. But there was, you could see in like one of the shots, they outnumbered them, including ATSTs.
No.
Like fucking 10-1 at the very least.
I wouldn't really say that much because they did have guerrilla warfare behind their backs. Really.
Yes.
They knew the terrain, and it's not like the Ewoks were few in numbers. There were a lot.
Yeah.
I can't
There were
do
quite
it.
a-
I understand there's some
I
sequences that are very childish, like when they're trying to bring down the
can't
ATST with like the root. That was very
It was. I can't believe it.
Yeah,
I just
wicked
can't believe
storyline.
it. If from what you've told me, the original plot line was on Kashyyyk.
Yes.
You told me this. That would have been so much better.
Okay.
That would have been amazing. That would have been the best ending.
Okay,
of,
because it's like 8 foot tall Wookiees, like Chewbacca's everywhere.
And Chewbacca would have had a character.
Chewbacca
has a character.
No, I'm sorry to say this, but in the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy, Chewbacca doesn't have a character. He's just there.
So you're just saying Chewbacca is not a character. Okay.
Chewbacca's just there. He's just like,
no.
I'm sorry,
He
man.
gets the job done.
He gets the job done, but there's no arc.
Like,
there's no arc for him. There's like nothing. He's just there to be the help. And I love
you can say
Chewie.
the same thing about R2-D2, but R2-D2 still has a character. You can feel
I'm not
for him.
saying that. I'm not saying that R2-D2 isn't that. But what I'm saying
But
is
that's
that,
the same thing as R2-D2
but like
and Chewbacca.
R2-D2's a droid, man. Come on, really.
Not really. You can pretty much say
Well,
that.
anyway,
R2-D2
R2-D2 gets a big ass character arc in like the prequels.
Yeah.
So,
something.
We'll keep going. Before we close this episode out, I just thought that we should bring up the last lightsaber battle.
Regarding Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, that's right. Did you like? This is specifically why I love Luke.
Sorry.
What?
I farted.
Oh. Get that shit away.
I was like, I disagree. I was like,
we just had Chipotle, bro.
Yeah, but this is like how it starts. It doesn't start with Luke and Darth Vader. It starts with Palpatine. Palpatine is probing Luke. You know. With each waking moment, you become more my servant. You know, it's you know, it starts off deep and low, and then he's like, "Strike me down right now. I want you to do it." You know, it's like,
I want you to
come on, hit me. You know, and then when Luke is seeing his friends die out there, you know, walking into a trap, he grabs his lightsaber and he tries to strike Palpatine down.
I love the shot.
I love that shot.
I love the shot of the two lightsabers clashing. He's just going
because they're like, aha, that's it. I knew you weren't ready. You said, well, you weren't ready before. You still aren't ready now. But at least you still aren't ready emotionally. You know,
right.
It's just like, oh, he's still making the bad decisions. He still turned on his lightsaber first. He still has a little bit of that darkness in him. But that is the point. Luke is in the sixth one, especially not perfect at all. Yes. Very flawed.
Yes.
Very emotionally volatile.
Yes.
And you could see it in the way that he fights, where the way he's beating down Vader, kicking him through the stair. You know,
that was a weird shot for me.
Yeah,
but he like kicks him and Vader goes, "Oh, I was like, oh my
and
god,
that sound effect is like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh wow, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Whoa.
But it's interesting to be like, I'm not gonna fight you, Father. He's like, it's unwise for you to lower your defenses.
Yeah,
like that was, I just. One thing I do want to mention is before we close out this episode and give our reviews. There's such a great moment when Luke, and Vader talk on Endor.
Yeah,
the conversation.
Yeah.
That's I think one of the most.
Join me, Luke.
It's one of them.
And together we could defeat the Emperor.
That's Empire.
That's Empire.
That is
Empire. Now,
Don't at me, bro.
This is the part where Darth Vader is like saying, "So you have accepted the truth," and he's like, "I know, Father."
No,
like Darth Vader realized, okay, he accepted the truth, but then Luke is like, "I've accepted the truth that you were once Anakin Skywalker, my father." There's the trigger behind Anakin saying that
name no longer has any meaning for me.
Exactly. It's the name of his true self.
Notice how he never lashed out and because usually if someone said Anakin, he'd be like, the fuck? And then he would go, he's like,
that's like a Kylo.
Yeah, because that's his son.
That's like a
Yeah.
Kylo,
Yeah.
right?
And it's like that's obvious that he does feel for his son. That's if not, he would have just killed him.
But that's also the first time we see him being vulnerable. Is that scene? Because we see him as this cold, calculated villain, this villain. This is the first human moment, where he goes, don't, turn back, Father. He's like, Obi-Wan thought as you do. He goes, you don't know the power. And then he even goes, come back. He's like, it's too late for me, son. He's so human, and he's so, that's such a powerful scene.
Yeah, the interplay between Luke and Darth are the best parts of Return of the Jedi.
But
Luke trying to, win back his father is like, this is
but
what I need.
But I think that it's time for us to wrap up our reviews.
Wait. Can I say just one more thing?
Okay, we're not gonna talk about We're not gonna talk about.
Well, because we have time pressing at our sides.
Yeah. But just one more thing. This scene where Luke hides from Darth Vader and he's probing Luke, right? And the camera's going in on his face, right? It's just light and darkness, just pulling at him, right? And then when Darth Vader realizes that he has a sister, oh god,
Your sister,
Yeah.
and then
That's such a
when he goes for his sister, that's when Luke just loses it. He goes ballistic.
He goes dark side for a few brief moments.
Yeah,
he's like, I'm fucking killing you. I'm like, yeah, okay, damn.
Exactly. And he starts lashing out at Vader, cuts off his arm. Right, and that moment where he looks at his hand and he looks at Darth Vader's arm, and you're just like, oh, okay. Luke is contemplating it for a second, turns it off, never.
For a fleeting moment.
No, okay. That justification for the Last Jedi. No.
That justification works.
30 years later, there's no
it fucking
way.
Works.
There's no way.
It fucking
no
works.
way
Let's save that for the Last Jedi.
Let's save that for Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Nobody's
Definitely
perfect.
does not work at all.
It
So
works.
it's much different.
It absolutely works because
Much
nobody's perfect in this world.
Exactly.
And everybody goes through temptation in their life.
Yeah, but a Jedi Master should know better. And Luke had 30 years
Yoda's
to
been
contemplate.
tempted multiple times. Have you not watched Clone Wars?
Exactly, but there hasn't been a decision literally that stupid in The Last Jedi from there. That's one of the stupidest.
It wasn't
ever.
a stupid decision.
It was a rational.
Luke was about to kill Darth Vader, but he didn't.
There are multiple ways in which
Okay,
you can show
okay.
that Luke was.
We're in
stupid,
it
but
now.
not in there.
Because Luke was in the moment.
He was in the moment in Last Jedi.
Not really.
No.
Yes, he was. He looked at him and he was like, "Shit, this kid's going to kill a bunch of people.
Okay.
Maybe I can end it. This is stupid." And Kylo wakes up.
Genocide of White Waker, yeah, redeemable.
But why
this guy
didn't he-
might be turning too far to the dark side? Yep, I can't do it. No, there's no way.
Okay.
He doesn't do it.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't
He was
do it.
tempted.
Yeah.
He was fucking tempted.
Let's
And then
save
he
this for
stopped
Last
himself.
Jedi.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Last Jedi
Peace
talk.
offering. Okay. Let's just save that.
So-
for last.
Temporary peace.
So, final reviews, because we only have a minute or so left before the camera says goodbye to us.
Start.
What, you want to start?
I can start.
Okay, you start.
A New Hope, solid 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Empire, 11 out of 10.
What the hell?
Return of the Jedi, 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10. Okay, got you, Johnny boy.
So, A New Hope, I would say 6 out of 10.
Ooh.
Empire Strikes Back, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10.
Hey.
And then for episode 6, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
Cool. Okay,
Everybody's different.
Okay, episode 4, I will give it a 7 out of 10. Solid movie. 7 out of 10, yeah. Empire Strikes Back, 8. Episode 6, 9. That's my order.
You got 30
New
seconds.
Hope 9,
Hey.
Empire 10, Return 9.5.
Ooh, okay. I see you.
So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to our podcast. Be on the lookout for the sequel trilogy episode. We'll be breaking down episode 7,
The
8,
Heartless Trilogy.
and 9 as the Heartless trilogy. So thank you guys for listening, and
It's a good trilogy.
bye-bye.